What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Tastes Like Music. Jason and Joe here, wrapping up our 2025 with our favorite songs. We're each giving you 25 of our favorite songs of the year. Our top 25 favorite albums video is already out. If you haven't seen that yet, go check that out. That's on the channel. And yeah, let's get into it.
Number 25, she didn't make my albums of the year list, but figured I had to get CMAT on here somehow. Her album Euro Country was pretty darn good, narrowly missed. A lot of good singles from it. I went with Running Planning as my pick. It's sort of a big British ballad, kind of, I don't know, Adele-ish almost. But I just think she hits all the right notes here. It's like maximum angst and drama in the song, and it's just a really pretty tune.
My number 25 is Love Me Right by the Minks. Dylan Seavey, if you watch our channel, is the drummer for the Minks. And yeah, I like their last album, Creatures of Culture, but if this single is any indication, I think the next record will be a sizable step forward for them. The recording and the mix sound killer. And yeah, great harmonies, one of my favorite guitar solos of the year. Excited to see what else they come up with.
I'm gonna have to put an asterisk and include that one on my list because I forgot. I I always miss out on singles. Hopefully, it's on their next album so I can come back and put it on next year. My number 24, I'm gonna go with Madison McFerrin, daughter of, yes, Don't Worry, Be Happy's Bobby McFerrin, with her song Ain't It Nice. And this is sort of a callback to 1974, very fulfilling. This is first finale sounding as far as the bass tones and the synths and everything. Just a massive groover. Her album just missed my top 25. She's kind of a musical savant, went to Berkeley and everything. Some really interesting chords, a great hazy, dreamy soundscape. I love the synthesizer, especially in the solo. Great bass tone. It's got that like perfectly 1974 bass tone. Sounds really good. I think it was recorded to tape. And it's just got some unexpected movements in the song that take it to the next level.
My number 24 is Look to My Side by Tom Henry. This record was in my top 10, so I like pretty much all the songs on this record. But this one in particular, incredible pop tune. It's got this blaring harmonica that kind of captures that early Beatles energy. It even has a Beatles, side to side head shake ooh in there as well. But for all the nods to the Beatles, I think the great thing about the song is that it doesn't really sound like a Beatles song exactly. So I don't think it's just pastiche. It's just a great pop tune with plenty of nods to British invasion rock.
All right, my number 23, I'm going to go with a song from an album that did make my top 25. I got Serpent from Castle Rat. And it's a sludgy, doomy, good old-fashioned metal tune packed into a tight, lean 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Because when you do it this well, there's no real need to draw it out. Love the outro solo. It's exactly what I want in a metal solo. Very, Judas Priest, kind of new wave of British heavy metal. Some cool bass runs that provide little pops of excitement underneath. The chanty vocals from Rat Queen Riley Pinkerton.
All right, 23 for me is Gloves Off by Wolfman featuring Tyler Ballgame. Tyler Ballgame's upcoming release is coming out in January. By far my most anticipated album of 2026. I will save the singles that have been released for that album for next year. They're all incredible. But here he lends this guest vocal performance to this Wolfman track, which kind of has like this funky, like New Orleans style groove, different from, his own music and really cool and interesting. And I love his voice, gets way up there.
All right, my number 22, another album in my album of the year list, top 25. I got Crocodile Cloud from Gorilla Toss. And I don't even know, this band should not, I shouldn't like this band. Like they're very weird and kind of cutesy and annoying and almost grating in a way. And it's like all the things I normally don't like. They started out as no wave, so if they continue on this path, they should be my favorite band of all time by like next album, maybe album after that. This tune though, it's just like an in-your-face trip. It's like some screaming. It's like indie dance rock, new wave, like hyper punk Zolo. Just really kind of intense, just in your face, but it's really fun and catchy as well. And it's just one of those tunes I haven't been able to get out of my head all year.
22 for me is Cleaning Bricks by Insecure Men. This is like a just a killer slice of pop rock. It feels like a perfect marriage of Pulp's disco-tinged Britpop and like late 70s New York dancey stuff. It's got this like sort of skittering synth in the background that kind of reminds me of Blondie's Heart of Glass.
My number 21, here's a tune. Didn't make my albums list. Thought the album was pretty good, but not great. But this song, Rodeo Clown by Flip Turn, just really, I don't know. It just, I heard it early in the year and it stuck with me this whole time. It's just a really good, kind of pop, rock, little emo, little 80s misty energy to it. A nice gnarled guitar lead in it. And just a really good hook in the chorus that keeps me coming back.
21 for me is Crush by Future Crib. This is a record full of intricately arranged indie pop, and among all those intricately arranged kind of like folkier tunes, this is the big rock song of the track list. Big anthemic chorus, guitar tones on it are sick. Johnny's vocals are really great. It's a really simple tune with pretty simple chords, and I think it kind of just reveals how good they are at arranging and being able to like make something so simple, so big and interesting.
The next song was inspired by Brat, but probably not from an artist you'd expect. It's Water from Your Eyes and their song Playing Classics, which was their attempt to turn one of the songs that they had into like this dance number, disco, inspired by Charlie XCX and Brat. And it's really like the only dancey track on the album. Uh, it's got a great groove, and then it's got that really interesting. The reason I really like this album is Nate Amos's kind of buzzsaw guitar grind. And it's paired with this nimble, clean line that Morrison phases around Rachel Brown's very deadpan flat delivery. But it's just a really like beguiling combination of different styles, and it really works. It kind of does remind you of Brat when you're listening to it, but in a totally like different, coming from a different direction. So, real cool track.
Number 20, I've got Calm by Lady Ray, the closing track to her record. Just some throwback gospel soul goodness. The piano and synth very Stevie-esque, especially that synth. And then at the end, you get the drums coming in, and she really just takes us to church.
All right, number 19 for me, I got Down Under from Tyler Childers, which is a charmingly humorous dip into the Southern Hemisphere. From Tyler. He's singing about Australia and its various endemic fauna and unique rituals. There's a Vegemite reference, of course, but a great song, just funny, excellent hooks, and some fierce guitar licks as well.
Number 19 for me, I've got New York Morning by Trevor Sensor. That's morning with a U. A groovy tune, kind of yachty soft rock sounds. You got the Fender Rhodes on there, but it's paired with Trevor's wild, scratchy vocals. If you've ever heard Trevor Sensor before, you know his voice is kind of crazy. And I think that paired with the soft rock sounds is just a combination that works really well for me. There's a great guitar solo on this track, really understated, but great.
Sounds like right up my alley, but I've never heard of Trevor Sinsor before. Check him out. Or maybe there'll be a clip of him playing, depending on what you're watching. Number 18 for me, I'm gonna go with just a good sleazy, dirty, despicable, grungy sounding, grimy tune from Sunflower Bean. I got Champagne Taste. which reminds you a little bit of Queens of the Stone Age's early work. It's not anything fancy, but of all the straight up rock and roll I heard this year, this was one of my favorite tunes, and it fulfills a need for me in my song listening, and that's for just a nice grungy, scuzzy, dirty rock song.
Number 18 for me is Song for Alicia by Haley Hendricks and Max Garcia Conover. A really powerful protest song. They're kind of addressing current injustices by recounting injustices of the past. And in this case, they're talking about the imprisonment of Alicia Rodriguez. Great writing, great as an album opener. It starts the record and it kind of sets the tone for the rest of it.
My number 17, I got Luciferine by Ichiko Aoba. Just a fantastical Japanese folk tune, seemingly borrows from composers like Nobuo Uematsu, who is like the Final Fantasy guy. But it's got like wonderful arpeggios, those soft gossamer vocals, and it's an amazingly transformative listening experience that kind of just whisks you off into a different world. And I think that transformative element is heightened by the lack of understanding, of the vocals. It just makes it more of an alien, sort of out of this world experience, which could be ruined by English lyrics that don't really meld with. I don't know what she's saying. I don't want to know. I just want the experience of listening to her.
Number 17, I have Truth is a Dimension, both invisible and blinding by Josh Ritter. And Josh Ritter had a run of albums in the late aughts that I thought were incredible, capped off with 2010's So Runs the World Away. And then since then, I have found his output to be very inconsistent, very up and down. One record that I like a lot, then the next one that I find kind of disappointing. This year's record was, I thought, good, just good. But still, it seems like pretty much every record has one track that's a stunner, and on this one, it's this one. Yeah, still capable of just these lyrical masterpieces, and this one is just incredible. Check it out. It reminds me a lot of his track "Temptation of Adam" from his record "Historical Conquests." Just a great piece of writing.
My number 16. This is like the scariest song of the year. It's like watching Fatal Attraction or something. I got Waxwing by Sorry. And this is a weird one. They interpolate and warp Tony Basil's Mickey, which I mean, Mickey. It's a fun pop bubblegum 80s song. And they take it and turn it into like dark stalker anthem, which I find very inspired. It kind of splits the difference between, 90s kind of riot girl alternative and 80s like Vangelis um, pop wrapped in this is like positively evil sounding vocal performance from lead singer Asha Lawrence. It's just a creepy, but also like you want to hear it. You can't turn it off experience.
16, I've got Tightrope by Lydia Mays. Maes is the last name. Not quite sure how she says it. Singer-songwriter tune with jazzy embellishments, really great strings. The whole record has some of the best string arrangements of the year. I would say this is for fans of Madison Cunningham. If you like Madison Cunningham, you should definitely listen to this record. In the last 2 minutes plus, maybe 2 minutes 15 seconds or so of this track, just some of the most stunning guitar work of the year. Incredible playing, incredible note choices. It goes so many unexpected places, all while the strings are just like swelling underneath and creating this incredible bed of music. It is a crazy way to end an album. It is the like the pinnacle of leaving you wanting more. It's the peak of the record.
Yeah, that song is cool, and that ending very very crazy. And not if you listen to the whole album, that is like the last thing you would expect at the end there. Number 15, we're gonna have at least one artist in common. Not the same song, but I do have a Lady Ray track. But my choice was "Be a Witness," and just not anything crazy, but it's just a fantastically groovy R&B number. Just the tone of the guitar is awesome. That aqueous sounding bass, I love. The gospel inspired vocals. It feels like it's modern, but takes a lot of inspiration from the 70s. You know, Stevie Wonder, that really good soul era. And it's just a really good modern take on it.
My 15 is Wedding Bands by Moon by Moon. Great little like indie pop track. Starts with the Weird Fishes drum groove and then builds up on top of that. I love the vocal harmonies on it and just really some really cool guitar tones as well. It's just like because of that drum beat, it just has this like great like momentum to it, just really kind of driving.
All right, my number 14, I got Jealous Type, Doja Cat, which a rare Billboard charting tune to make my list. But I just think, it's Jack Antonoff and Doja Cat doing what they should be doing, which is mining the nostalgia of the late 1980s for a strong dance floor banger that should have been it should have been top 10. I don't think it performed as well as people may have expected, kind of underperformed. But I really enjoy Doja Cat. I like how versatile she is going between those whispery verses, the big choruses, that kind of, she always has like a verse or two where she raps. And I don't think there's anyone else really who can switch gears as quickly as she does. And you got Antonoff's production, that warbling sax, the big synths, the drum machines. I think it just adds the perfect amount of color and neon sheen to proceedings. Just endlessly catchy, big sugar rush, addictive tune.
Number 14 for me is Dark Horse Friend by Billy No Mates. And there's a bunch of good songs on this record. This was like my number 30 of the year. It didn't miss my top 25 by too much. But yeah, I'm going with this unexpected Hugh Cornwell cameo of the Stranglers. This kind of reminds me of like a lot of 80s alternative music. Not that it like necessarily sounds like Depeche Mode or The Cure or something, but it kind of does that same thing that they do, where it's kind of like a dark and moody song while simultaneously being a catchy and infectious pop tune.
Yeah, that song rules. It was one of my cuts from my larger list down to my top 25. And the album also close to making my top 25. I always thought Billy No Mates was a rapper. And
Yeah,
then
right.
it just sounds like a rapper name. So I didn't listen to the album. And then I think I saw that you liked it or something. And I put it on. And I was like, wow, this is great. Um, that's one that could kind of squeak in to the top 25 at a later date. My number 13, I'm going to go with Tops and their song I See You Too, which is just this cool, bouncy indie dance rock number, kind of dark disco feel to it, kind of weird stops and starts, kind of unexpected. Just a very cool, my favorite track from that album, which I believe was my number 5 or 6 in the year. So uh, just a great tune.
Number 13, I've got Someone You Can Believe In by Arlie. Shout out to Arlie. He did a listening party for his new record on our Discord. I love how this song just kind of marries like lo-fi vintage aesthetics. It's got like this kind of like VHS sort of quality to it. You can even hear like the rewinding tape at the beginning of the track. And it takes that sound and like pairs it with this very like polished musical approach. You have these kind of like George Harrison-esque lead lines that you wouldn't necessarily expect with that aesthetic approach. So, very cool song.
My number 12, I'm gonna go with a little track from Eves Jarvis. Got Decision Tree, which is just this like, really cool little guitar lark. Reminds me of two of my very favorite guitarists, Prince and Lindsey Buckingham. It's under 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It almost feels unfinished in a way, but each part, it's got this choppy, truncated intro that's really like Buckingham-esque. Then it throws in these Prince-like squeals. It's got a really just interesting, unexpected, catchy chorus. And then after the chorus is just thick sounding guitar flourish. Just a really unique way to put everything together and call from pop funk, R&B, and just a really interesting little. It's almost like a slight tune, but one that I just kept coming back to over and over again.
My number 12 is It's a Mirror by Perfume Genius. Seeing people talk about this record, uh, people seem way more lukewarm on it than I am, but most people that I've seen talk about it still make this concession that like No Front Teeth is a great track, but I think this is even better than No Front Teeth. For me, this is like the real stunner of the record. A great band performance, just incredible and intricate playing, and I think shows the genius of Blake Mills on full display. His production is so good.
My number 11 comes from my number two album of the year. I got Ammunition by Spelling, and just a great, pop rocker with some hints of 70s. You get a lot of like Funeral for a Friend here, indebted, especially in the guitar part. Got some cool orchestral work. Just kind of hits everything that I like in music and just packs it into a, 3-4 minute tune.
My number 11 is Choose the Ladder by Finn Wolfhard. Just a great lo-fi jangly power pop song, and I think in a year that was great for this kind of stuff, you had like Tom Henry and the Sharp Pins, Tanner York, and Guided by Voices coming back with their best album in a while. Out of all that great stuff, I think the Stranger Things kid turned out probably the best song in that genre. So really good.
That is strange. Or things. My number 10, I got Two-Legged Dog from BC Camplight, featuring Abigail Morris from the last dinner party. Her only appearance on my list from the disappointment that was that album that they made. I don't even remember the name of. This tune, though, is excellent. It's beautiful, it's somber, filled with BC's trademark catchy but self-deprecating, lyrics. He sings like he's like a kicked dog or something. Just everything is depressing, even when the music is catchy and kind of upbeat almost. You can always count on BC just to bring the party screeching to a halt. And that's what he does here. Abigail Morris and him do a little duet part after they both do separate verses, and it sounds great. Uh, just a great tune from one of my favorite artists.
Top 10. My number 10 is Retrograde by Connor Kelly and the Time Warp. Great atmospheric rock track, talking like Pink Floyd levels of atmospherics. The synth will make you feel like you're floating through space, and Connor's got a great like 90s rock voice. Very, very cool.
My number nine, another two song. This is Two Horses from Black Country New Road, which is just one of those ones that's stuck in my brain ever since we heard the album and reviewed it on the channel. And this tune in particular is just like, wow, that's an interesting, direction for the band. That's an interesting way of storytelling, and it's very folksy and pastoral, showing off BCNR's new and improved direction. Much better vocals, obviously, and it's just this odd tale of sort of this nightmare scenario that feels fantastical and medieval, but also references James Dean in it on the silver screen. So it's sort of like this weird world that, I don't know, exists outside of reality. And I really like the heavier Jethro Tull inspired middle, great acoustic guitar playing and other woodsy, folksy elements to it. Just probably the song I've thought about the most this year. Even when I'm not, listening to it, I still think about, oh yeah, Two Horses. It's a weird tune.
Number 9, I have Apple by the band Rehash. Speaking of 90s rock, the dream of the 90s is alive with these young Gen Zers. The kids in this band range from, I think, like 17 to 20. Um, I think most of the band's still in their teens. One of the best rock choruses of the year. Could have been an alt rock radio staple had this come out in 1994.
My number eight is from an artist that people seem to just really hate and rag on all the time, but I think shows immense promise, and that's somber. And the tune "Under the Mat," the final track from his album. And I understand why people don't like him because lyrically, the dude needs a lot of work. It's not great. He just kind of jams in kind of awkward phrases, and that whole undress song kind of yeah, it's pretty So, I get it. He's a TikTok dude. He's kind of annoying on stage, but I think it's very impressive what he's doing with the production and especially the vocal arrangements. Um, I think this is a really well arranged song, some really great vocal parts, some harmonies and kind of choral parts that really impressed me. Um, and yeah, I mean, he needs work, but this is his first album to have this kind of promise. I think is really great. He's really great at using bridges, which I love. I love a good bridge, and he's packing his songs with bridges, which is great. The ending part, the choral arrangement, there's these awesome drums underneath it all. Really good, really impressive, and hopefully he kind of continues in this big maximal pop direction because I think it just if he can do this, but with some sharper lyrics, I think he could be a great one.
Number 8, I've got Seminary by Racing Mount Pleasant. Just a beautiful track. Reminds me of early Bon Iver with its slow pacing, and the horn arrangements are great. I think a lot of times when you see these like indie bands with members that play horns, it's usually like they grabbed their high school friend that was in band and like made them play on their record, and it's like adding the flavor of horns, but you can tell that it's not like a great horn player. And I think what sets Racing Mount Pleasant apart is that the horn work feels very accomplished and like serious musicians playing them. And yeah, I just think it's great.
All right, number 7. The Police are back, baby, and they've manifested themselves in the playing and singing and songwriting of Turnstile, uh, and especially their song "Seeing Stars" from their very good new album. The work of Andy Summers and his guitar style, I don't know, it's so influential. I think that people just take it for granted. There were so many bands in the 80s that just totally ripped him off. And I think he's more than overdue for, another discovery from the latest generation. And I'm definitely here for it. I think it really adds a new element to their sound. It's dreamy, it's still driving, it's still got a fantastic sound, fantastic hooks, fantastic production. But adding that kind of police element, the guitar of Andy Summers, just those comping chords that he does, I think really just adds another element to Turnstile and makes them even more interesting.
My number 7 is To Be Lonely by Caroline Rose. Just a raw and unfussy recording of a great song. And apparently, uh, they tried to like take these tunes into the studio and work them out and kind of flesh them out a little more. And just kudos to them for realizing that there was a magic to these tracks and to just put it out as it is.
Number 6, I got Wild Long Lie from Sam Fender. And this is my favorite tune from one of my favorite albums of the year. I love just the intimate feel, the closeness of the banjo you get right off the bat. Yet the sound overall is very expansive and sort of this wide-angled lens look. Just a great way to kind of bridge those two worlds. And then probably my favorite guitar solo of the year, just this thunder strike, lightning strike, thunderclap moment where it comes in. And I love that it's long and, it's gradual. It doesn't just, it's not this like 10-second little throwaway. It's very well, beautifully thought out piece of playing that really enhances the tune. And then they throw in an outro saxophone solo just in case you forgot that this is a Springsteen worshiping Adam Granduciel
Number
piece.
6 for me is Emma by Great Grandpa. This is a relatively short song. It's 2 minutes and change, and kind of an inconspicuous track, but I love the way the dynamics drop. It feels like it's building to like a huge chorus, and then it gets there and it just gets quiet, and you have these nice tight harmonies. It's very intimate, and for me, the highlight of that great record.
My number five, if you'd told me there'd be a day where I would be praising the vocal arrangements of a car seat headrest song, I'd look at you and say that sounds possible because I'm very capable of adjusting my opinion on things as new information becomes available. Like with the Bob Dylan series, I can change. I'm not set in my ways. And that was why I really enjoyed the latest Car Seat Headrest album, Scholars. Just really unexpectedly beautiful in some of the vocal work. CCF, I'm Gonna Stay With You is my favorite, the lead off track from there. Just really beautiful. I love the sort of low harmonies that they're doing at the intro. It's almost choral. It's got this like jazzy meets tribal drum beat that comes in. And then the hook on the main hook of the song on the chorus is just so good. I love the way it all comes together. Just like those little shots of horns and the chords. Just a beautiful tune that I keep coming back to.
Devereaux would have been the pick for me off of that record. That one is probably Devereaux is probably my 26 on my list. Just missed. Five for me is Save Yourself by Ben Queller. There's a bunch of songs on that Ben Queller record I could have chose. Oh, Dorian is a beautiful tune. Trapped was half written by Dorian and then finished by Ben and is so catchy. I love the chorus on it. But this one, just so epic and powerful. It's had to be the pick for me. It's just got this really like big triumphant quality to it, and it's got the really weird song structure. It's got like these quiet choruses that almost serve more as a bridge than a chorus, and yeah, I just think it's a great tune.
Number four, this was one of the darling artists of the year, and I love this song. The album just couldn't quite live up to a tune like Yamaha from Dijon, which everybody went gaga for his album and that sound that him and Mick Gee kind of pioneered. And it's a great album. It just kind of falls off for me, and I kept wanting more. I want more like Yamaha, which just awesome, maximalist, chopped up R&B, some 80s pop. Kind of reminds me of a funkier, cooler version of the 1977. Um, just this kind of new style of pop music that very, Gen Z sounding, overloaded with samples and sound, but I think at the heart remains a tender love tune. It has some weird credits. Cara Delevingne, the actress, somehow has a writing credit on here. Mickey has a writing credit. Carter Lang. It's produced by Andrew Sarlo and Dijon, which is an interesting combination. And just one of the richest and most interesting sonic concoctions of the year.
Number four, I've got Brian Dunn. Still waiting for Rockland County to show up on your list. My pick is Clam's Casino, the title track. It's the song that's been stuck in my head the most over the last 2 months, especially. A lot of great lines. Betting the house on a bottle of wine is a great one. Just the whole lyrical concept of the record I really love, and I just, yeah, can't get it out of my head.
All right, maybe that'll appear, maybe it won't. Maybe it will. Number three, Angel of My Dreams by Jade, which is easily for me the pop song of the year. That massive vocal hook right off the bat, just instant earworm. Drops in this icy Europop club floor banger like Lady Gaga used to do. And then at the end, there's this massive, final vocal hook that comes back in, just sort of phases in and just takes you home. Uh, really surprised it didn't become a hit over here in America, but it seems like Jade is a UK only import, at least for now. In the future, she crosses over and graces our airwaves with some excellent pop that she is producing, and we're missing out on because there's too much Taylor Swift on our charts.
Number three, I've got Creatures of the Night by RC Drive. Um, I really like this record. I thought maybe this band would make a little bit more noise than they seem to. It doesn't seem like a lot of people took too much note of this band, but I think they're one to watch. This is an acoustic kind of ballad near the end of the record, and I just love the vocal delivery. I think his voice is great, and I think in this like more acoustic setting, it really shines.
Well, I've never heard of them, and I think I'm looking at your list. I think I may have listened to like four of the albums, maybe five on your entire list. So I don't know, maybe you got to start talking about these artists a little more so people hear about them. My number two, I'm gonna go with my favorite song from my favorite album of the year, and that is The Passionate Ones from Nourished by Time. Just the aura of this song, to me, is unmatched. The feel of the beat, the motion, the sound of the synths, the way it merges 90s R&B with 80s dance rock and synth pop. It's just one of those one in a million tunes that really doesn't sound like anything else. Uh, but it has like enough familial elements to make it immediately gripping and irresistible in a way that's sort of like, indie alternative. It doesn't have the slickness, the smoothness of some of the things that it cribs from, and that sort of, that lack of polish, I think, is what makes it just beyond anything else that I really heard this year. And I can't get enough of Nourished by Time. I really can't.
My number two is also from my album of the year, Flory, a record I could have gone with any song from this one as well, but I'm going with Say Your Prayers Rock. And yeah, there's just a directness to this one, and it absolutely killed live. It was so good, and harmonized guitar leads will never fail. So that's the pick.
All right, you asked for it. You got it. Number one, Rockland
Wow.
County, Brian Dunn, taking it home. I just think it's just literally a perfect song. The elements and the things that it takes from and builds into this tune. I love the intro. I love the way, you get a jangly little start, and then music cuts away, and then Dunn nails that Jamie wasn't fun anymore, and just all comes rushing back in. I love the jangly verses, the post choruses, the duality of the chorus, the duality of the lyrics, the loud soft dynamics, the step up final chorus. It's so catchy, it's funny, it's clever. It just one of those tunes to me. It has everything, every element, every sound needed to just be a perfect tune that you just want to listen to over and over and over again. And I have been, and I've not tired of it one iota. And yeah, just a perfect tune to win the year, Rockland County by Ryan Dunn.
Wow. Number one for me is When the Truth Comes Out by Kathleen Edwards. So many good songs on this album. Some insane playing across the record, and there's definitely songs on the record that have better guitar work. Say Goodbye, Tell No One, uh, probably my favorite solo of the year. It's either that or that Tightrope song. But the more and more I listen to it, the more and more I listen to the record, the more this song like rose to the top for me. I just think it's an absolutely airtight tune. It feels like a song that Tom Petty could have wrote. It is just like a perfect timeless song, and the way the melody lifts into the chorus is just incredible. I think it's so catchy and just feels like a song that's always been around, and yeah, it's pretty much perfect.
All right, well, we had two artists in common, no songs in common. That's kind of to be expected at this point in our lives, but a little crossover at least.
Yeah. All right. Well, let us know what we missed, what your favorite songs of the year are. And yeah, there will be some way of hearing these tracks for you. Either Joe's going to put some clips in, or we're going to have a playlist or something, or Patreon. But check the video description. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.